So I guess this would be a good time to actually probably tell you a little bit about myself. Um, my name is Harry D. Potter. D. Potter. Apparently, I'm an authentic artist because I'm dyslexic as shit. Oh, let me put my Bass Pro hat on so I don't have show my bald spot like I did in that other video. Yeah, there you go. I don't know where I'm coming at you at. But yeah, trying to get all the grit out of this one because, I don't know, being a perfectionist. I said about being anal on the other one, but really, there is something to be said about being a perfectionist and having the perfect form, the perfect angles, not letting the low side drag. People say it's anal and kind of demean it, but really, the standard of perfection can be obtained, I believe. I don't believe, I know it. I know it. It's really your life, though. It's and people don't want to give their life to things. They want to be selfish with their life, and when you give your life to things, you can achieve perfection. I think clay teaches that really well. It's kind of like math. It don't lie. The clay don't lie. That's what people like numbers. Well, yeah, I like my clay. I like my clay. I like my clay. It don't lie. It don't talk back at you. Well, it kind of will actually when it breaks and cracks. Yeah, it's just starting to crack there. But I ain't even trying to do nothing yet. I'm just getting shit out of it. So, let's see. Where did I start clay at? Maybe that's a good question. Well, it seems I lived in here around southeast Missouri, and there's these people called Evans Pottery back in the day. That happened. You can look up Evans Pottery, and they had some really wild stuff. I've seen some postcards they had, and it was almost like Picasso stuff with weird faces and stuff. Most people know about their did marbleized clay. There's various types of clay here where I'm at. It's got a lot of quartz in it, silica. It's high in silica, so it's pretty much high fire clay. My friend Porter, who's been in Elsinore for a while here, he moved from Chicago down this way because of the clay. St. Louis, a little known fact he taught me was we won World War II because our iron was better and stronger because of the fire brick that was made in St. Louis. So since we had better fire brick because of the clay, we actually helped win the war. So that's a little fun war fact about clay in World War II, how it played its part. A little pass that on. That's a nice little fun fact. But yeah, pretty much this painstaking process, getting it out, is what it takes though. And yeah, that one's pretty good. So we're going to get a new piece. And get a little lump. Oh, that's about right. Just a little dab, because you get too much, you got too much to work with. It's no good. Even that right there, we're going to half that. We're going to chop that puppy up. But, getting back maybe clay history on my dumb ass. Let's see here. Where was that? Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Oh yeah, my area, Evansville Pottery. Yeah, I was talking about the clay here. Well, right here in southeast Missouri, I've been blessed to be born with a dad who had to have flat land. And so he took a M-Farm all tractor and a grater blade, some John Deere hydraulics, and he pretty much made him a little bulldozer. And he put a hill in a gully, and instead of farming, because he was from the flatlands, he ended up having a junkyard. But in the process, growing up here, my dad has been exposing clay veins at various spots. And I've grown up with clay running down the hills and different various dirts and stuff being exposed. I pretty much live in a mud hole. I flew by it one time over top the local airport, had fly-in day or what they have sometimes. And when I'm looking at the ridge that I'm on, it's like flat. The Delta, Mississippi Delta is just right there. And I'm the last little foothills. And it was neat to see the ridge line. And then over there, oh wait, it's like God took an ice cream scoop and he just went scoop of trees and shit. I'm like, hey, that little bald spot there, like God went and gouged with the clippers. Take me over there. I think that's my spot. And sure the fuck it was. So my dad, literally from above, is made like a perfect UFO landing spot. And that's one thing I realized too. I don't know if that's, but we got a pond, so I don't know about that. There ain't much room to land here now. But if everything was flattened, it would be. But I don't know. It's a fun thing. So, pinching the shell of this clay. Hey, this one ain't got too much grit in it, I don't think. I ain't feeling no big lumps in it. That's a good one. That's good. But mainly you want to get it as thin as you can. And when it's thin, that's when it reveals its goodies. That little big piece. And I've been tired of my lips having grit in them. And I probably solve that with making some slip. We might make some slip out of some white clay I didn't dug. Working with the Roper boys excavating has been really handy. I suggest if you're definitely a male ceramicist, hell, even female ceramicist, find an excavating company and go be friends with them, some excavating people that dig the dirt. And you can usually, if you're working with them, you'll know if you hit clay or not. It'll be sticking to the bucket, big chunks, and literally big chunks. I mean, I've loaded my Jeep up probably a whole load of clay that probably hurt my shocks, but big chunks of freaking pure clay out of these veins, or it just where I'm at. It's where it's at. I'm in clay country. Thank God bless. So I just load it up. That's how I hand dig it. My job, it's there at my job. And so I know what I'm looking for, and I pick it up just like, there it is. There's a chunk of clay. There's a chunk of clay. I mean, and I know that a handful of clay to me, I'd make a little gem. That's $20. So I pick up a chunk of dirt. I'm like, well, that's about $20. I pick up a chunk like that. I'm thinking, well, that's like $400 or $500. My boys that are digging the dirt, they're like, that's just fucking dirt, Charles. You're silly. But I'm like, I need to like show them ceramics monthly maybe, and what artists do with their shit. And I don't know. I definitely want to go to the sofa show this year. Somehow I may even fundraise for it because I'm just maybe mentally incompetent enough to do it, and somehow get an Amtrak ticket to Chicago from St. Louis or something, or even from right here in my backyard, Amtrak or Poplar Bluff to St. Louis or Chicago, and that'd be a dream for me. I'd like to do that. But getting back to the history of my ceramics, since I live in a mud hole and I was always surrounded with clay, and blessed with poverty, because poverty pretty much keeps you honest, I had all this clay. That's nature's Play-Doh. Fuck some Play-Doh. I mean, that shit, even the homemade stuff with the salt, that's just nasty stuff. I don't even know what the hell concoction it is, you know? It's just nasty. But clay is the real deal, kids. If there's any kids watching by chance, they got their parental vision taken off. But ends up, I'd make I'd make like Star Trek figurines. I'd make a Enterprise and like a Klingon ship, and I'd fight them and I'd smash it and then I'd reform it back. It's basically you can make indestructible toys. Was the cool thing about it. The very first thing I ever made, though, was a flower pot thing with a spout. And it had a spout. And, of course, at being 10 years old, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. The other thing I made at the same time, though, was a tombstone for my mom's cat, who had just passed. She had it for 20 years and everything. And, yeah. So, ended up, the date on the tombstone is how I know when I did it, luckily. But looking back on it, one day I was pushing a shopping cart at what is it? Aldi's. And it dawned on me, you know, those first two pieces really were just life and death pieces. For a 10-year-old, that's pretty fucking heavy, two pieces to get. So I've kind of mellowed out. I still like making I'd like to make some pictures. Definitely some wedding pictures, some native wedding pictures. I like my cake and punch by George. Cake and punch is the deal. And let's see. Yeah, things like of that nature. But pinchy pinches. That's my bathroom. Alright, that one about good. Let's see about this jazz. So I made clay. I ended up going to high school. Because, yeah, that's what kids do these days. They go to high school eventually. And I took all the art classes that are available. I took the ceramics there. I made a couple pieces. Nothing to really like hoop and holler about. I know I didn't like the wheel. It's just the machine. It don't work with me. I ain't going at it. And then later on in life, I've had factory jobs, and I just don't take to me. There's something about it that's too mechanical. There's the perfection of having a perfect circle, true, but I don't know. It's maybe round isn't right. But any which way, one thing I have noticed with the wheel, it does take an incredible amount of upper body strength. And so if you don't have upper body strength, which I never quite did, playing Nintendo don't build your forearms too damn well. Thank you, Japanese game makers, for making good games that inhibit my physical development on many summers. So, yeah. What else was there? Oh, ceramics class. Yeah, ceramics class. I did like a leaf thing. I like that. I need to probably do that again. Now we got leaves again. I could do some leaf print stuff. That'd be nice. That's simple projects. What else we got? Oh, I did have my first piece stolen. I made like a little candle. It was supposed to be an oil lamp thingy, but I guess someone thought it was going to make a perfect bong pipe. And so, I mean, it looked like you could hit it like a thing. And so it got stolen in high school. And that starts a whole a funny thing about my artwork, that it gets stolen. It gets burned in house fires. I've had that happen like 2 or 3 times now. Here recently, regretfully. But yeah, for some reason, my stuff gets burned up. I don't know if something's trying to make it scarce and make it valuable, or if, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. Buyer beware. Maybe. I don't know if it causes friction in the home because it's really good and people are really bad, or if I'm really bad and people are really good. But yeah, artwork's funny like that. Maybe. Yeah. House fires, that's a mystery yet to be solved. But what was that? High school piece got stolen. Got out of high school. Kind of didn't do no ceramics because I always had my hands in clay pretty much. Then I got back, goofing around. Let's see, when did I? Oh, it was at Grandma's that I made my first freeform sculpture. It kind of looked like a little bit vaginal kind of thing. Definitely feminine. Kind of like woo boobs, but I wanted to make sure that all the angles had to be just right. Everything, all the lines flowed, and it was a really good freeform sculpture. I got it somewhere. I don't think I ever fired it. And that kind of started if I have kind of a serious, wanted to actually pursue being serious in ceramics, that started it. And so I started making these little freeform sculptures, which I guess I need to make one here shortly. And with little knobbles and making the lines and sculpting the curves and the lips and stuff. I don't know. It gets really good. So a lot of my pottery isn't really the hand building techniques. I use all the techniques. I use the pinchin. I'll use the pull pottery. I'll pull it, pinch it, and then what else? That's about mainly it. Pinching and pulling. Yeah, which pinching and pulling. So this one's feeling pretty good. Feeling about silky smooth. Oop, there's a little bit. Just when you think you got it, that's when you find more. That's just when you find more, I tell you. Uh-huh. 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 Alright. There's that much. I was going to speed this up, but then I started talking. So, piss. More goo! More goo for the hand machine! More goo! More goo! Goo, goo, goo. Let's see, where else was I at now? Oh, I was making freeform sculptures. So I'm making freeform sculptures. I was doing my gonzo years, Hunter S. Thompson days with the gang, garage rock band, and making watercolors, making partying and such not, like you do in your 20s, and trying to be irresponsible, I guess. Yeah. But I was also making art. I was trying to be a real artist. That's wherever that is. And, yeah. So I didn't really make too much ceramics in those days, because, well, I didn't have no way to really fire them. So I did make a lot of I developed my drawing, watercolor, and ceramic and acrylic painting a little bit. Then I went to Three Rivers, and that's when a little ways there, the painter guy that teach there, Dave Fielding, he turned me on this one guy. He said, "Charles, you'd be perfect to go out there and go see Dave Porter." And I'm like, "Who is that?" And he's like, "Well, we'll go see him." So after it was like this little group show thingy that he had of local artists, which Dave was a part of, I got to meet him on his 60th birthday. And this is what pretty much started, if I have any sort of like training in ceramics, it comes from being around porters and trying to be an apprentice, but being a really shit apprentice. I don't know. Maybe I was better than I hope, but I don't think so. I did a pretty shabby job. But being around there and firing, maybe I picked up what I need to pick up. Like, the first times there, that weekend he had, there's a PBS special, The History of Clay. And one of the ceramic guys, he's passed now, he brought it in a VHS tape. It's like 8 hours long or 16 hours long. It's crazy length long or something. But The History of Clay, I highly recommend actually owning it for any respectable ceramic studio. Having it in your library for your students to watch, or to be able to take home and watch in your library of ceramic materials. What else? So I ended up just crashing there for 3 days straight. As soon as I met the guy, it was kind of one of those kind of places where you could just flop. He was having a party, and the party raged for 3 damn days. I mean, the boys, they know how to party. They's from the 60s, and when people come to visit, they come to visit, and party's over like Wednesday. So I lasted about 3 days, and I figured I needed to get my ass home. And had my dog, I think. No, I don't think I had my dog with me. But everything was all good. But it started, I ended up figuring I was Dave Porter's 60th birthday present. And people can do that too sometimes. Oh, baby, need to tuck in. Tuck in. There you go. There you little shit. So, ended up, they were doing assault firing. And I ended up well, I was actually in my 20s. I'd hang out a lot at college campuses. And even my friends would go to class. I'd I'd go to class with them and chill out in the lecture and take notes and stuff and pretend I was a student and actually learn stuff. It was kind of nice. You call it annexing or you can just call it hijacking. I don't know. But I also find myself wandering the ceramic studios on the campus, and I got the friend and I got a lump of clay and I'd make me a freeform sculpture there at the college. So I just happened to have it with me, I think, or I was going to, and I took it out there and it got salt fired. I don't know where it's at now out there in Porterville. Hopefully somewhere, but didn't get smashed or something. But ended up, started off Porter's, and I'm still there. And shucks, if that was 60, that was like 17 years ago. Wow. Yeah. And I'll talk more about Porterville in later videos, I'm sure. And I already documented some of Porter's work. That's not my work. Those are Porter's vases. And he's a very established, like 40 years or 50 years ceramicist that everybody should recognize. And he's been sort of like an art prophet to the poor peoples of Carter County out around Elsinore area, I have to say. So, yeah, I'm very blessed to be knowing David Porter. He's got a very nice establishment for what it is. It's not nice, no. It's bare bones. It's real deal pottery. It's a true potter's house if there's ever been a potter's house, though. And the pottery is in the Bible. That's the potter's house is in the Bible. And at the potter's house in clay, I learned a lot. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, learned a lot. I learned a lot. Oh, what did I learn? Oh, we've done raku. We've done high firing. The first time was a salt fire. We ain't done salt firing since. But quite a bit, a decent amount of raku. Mainly, he's got a wood kiln out there, and that's where I've learned to actually wood kiln fire. It takes about 48-hour process and such, but you got to be on it, and it's a grueling thing. I've done it, and then had to go right into college. That was a fun day. I drank a couple beers and then went right into school. That's how you do it when you're a ceramicist. He'd be up all damn night firing a fucking kiln. And then you got classes. Drink a beer, boy. You gotta go to class. That's what I call it. So I even lived out there for a minute. That was wild. That was a wild time. Holy jacks. I've seen it all out there. But it pretty much prepared me for Eureka, where I didn't do any ceramics at all, really. I made like 2 bird sculptures in Eureka, and I think I sold them to Wanda up at Granny's place. So she's got like my only ceramics in Eureka. I didn't make hardly any. I tried to kind of kill and firing it. Or no, I did like a popcorn can sagger at Blaine's when he lived out by the school there. And yeah, anybody Eureka know all that references, maybe. Blaine would. Willow might too. The girl Willow, she was around them times. So ends up, and we got some clay going on. Look at that clay. We got clay. So hope everybody's doing good this Sunday. You know, this Sunday I got my dateometer adjusted correctly. Earlier I said it's Tuesday. Oh boy, I guess medication's working. Thanks for joining in. Oh, mercy. Now that I got Wi-Fi, I can actually make videos and post them rascals, and everybody can be appeased and distracted by my goofy ass. Yay! So here I am. This is getting purifying clay, which is pretty fitting because it's what we got to do for each other, for yourself, and for society's sake, for your kids' sake. Pretty much having impurities, the impurities in mankind are pretty much like 7 deadly sins. Is what I'll be teaching. Hopefully the world through my various profiles. You might want to Google Old Swirly. I'm Old Swirly too. Kubrick had one of his first movies was Lolita, and in it, one of the main characters, he played like 5 or 6 or 7 different characters, and it's Peter Sellers, I think, played all these different characters, and I don't know, I kind of feel the same way, but for my purposes, I'm trying to do it for communications. It's like one archetype can't talk to this type of people, and this archetype can't talk to those type of people. If I was all the archetypes, I couldn't talk to anybody, but I could talk to everybody. Or I can hear everybody, but I couldn't talk to anybody, and definitely couldn't relate. So if I break myself down into different profiles, this one over here, this one over here, then by George, I should be able to reach more people, or at least be able to relate to them in their frames of references, which is really key in communications. What else? So yeah, try to Google Old Swirly, and I made like a labyrinth. Your real masterpiece will always be your story, your life, your legacy. Most likely is having children. That's where I'm getting to it as a wise man. I don't have any kids. My mom said didn't stress it. Probably stressed the opposite. So now I'm sucking high intent as a man, and I'm going to have a family though, and I'd like to have some kids. That makes sense. If there's any responsibility in human existence, it's probably having some rascals, and to be drawing life and breath and heartbeats. Yeah, if you're going to pay a price for this gift, yeah, having kids is something so that there's people in the future, and whatever the birth process is, it keeps happening. It doesn't stop or stagnate. An interesting video watch about it's like 30 minutes long, and a subject to look into is the mouse utopia experiments conducted back in the 70s by NIM. It's like they were trying to study about inner city population and stuff, and about population density and how it affects behavioral conditions, and they set it up as best they could like a city with different like feeding spots and nesting spots and stuff, and the results are really, really dramatic, and as viewer beware. It's kind of graphic, but it's some hard-hitting ideas and possibly truths that the scientist came to conclusion that pretty much, I think he come to conclusion, I am too, that mankind's done run this cityscape experiment, and pretty much all the good things and bad things that can come out of Pandora's box already have happened. He ended up going Sodom and Gomorrah with it. It pretty much got hellish. So I ain't trying to spoil it, because I can't tell it as good as they can, or whoever made the video. I ain't that good at video editing, you know. I almost made a hot dog. It's a hot dog. I must be getting hungry. But yeah, Mouse Utopia videos. That's on the homework list, ladies. If you're investigating me. I've got people investigating me, obviously. So it's fun. I'm leaving clues, dropping bombs here and there. You gotta like go through all the different profiles and scavenge and hunt. Now I'm back to normal scheduling programming of. So out at Porter's, I learned all these different firing techniques. Let's get back to ceramics for a minute. Get off the ethereal bullshit. Well, out there at Porter's, one of the stories. See if I can get a Porter story here. Porter stories. Yeah, this is fun. Porter stories. What was a good Porter story? Shucks. I did have one with painting stolen. Had a rock stolen. Oh, I have made a rock circle out at Porter's. You take rocks and make a circle. I was connecting the trees to try to actually create like a magnetic field, force field kind of thing with the trees' electric fields, and using rocks to connect them, connect it, and make it a circuit. And I was going to sleep inside of it and help my remote viewing and try to get lottery numbers. As crazy as it sounds, it's actually pretty sound. I maybe surprisingly sound. I never went full through with on it, but I get ideas and I go through, usually about 3/4, and then I'll see about kind of where it's heading. And I'm like, I kind of don't like where it's heading, or I'll be like, I'll get another idea, and I get distracted, like, oh, another shady idea, and I'll go over there, and then, oh, there's a shady idea, and have fun with that. Yeah. Oh, most man knows. No. So, one of the secrets of clay is it can take any shape. You can shape it as long as you know how to shape it. Now, what does that mean? What, by George, does that mean? Well, what that means is a lot of form and functions dictated by necessity, for one thing. The other thing is, I got thinking, if you gave 2 little balls of clay to 2 little boys, say one from the country, one from the city, one little boy who's seen rabbits running down the gravel road as he goes driving, get to grandma's house. City boy ain't never seen a rabbit. You hand that ball of clay to them 2 boys and say, make me a rabbit. One little boy is going to say, alrighty, righty, I got you. I got you. Other boy going, what the fuck a rabbit? Huh? What's a rabbit? I don't know what a rabbit is. I don't know. That's the secret of clay. And that is actually possibly how knowledge is power. You could have infinite power. I'm looking at the ball above the head as being electric clay. That just like this, but above your head, but it's the electric in the air. Instead of grabbing it out of the ground, I grab it out of the air. And I pull it in, make me a clay ball. I could have infinite power to raise the fucking dead. But if I don't know how to shape it, it's pretty much fucking useless. It's just a lump of fucking whatever. But if you know how to shape it, you can make anything. Anything. And pretty much change everything. Change the outcome. Be a co-creator on this plane with this vessel. Yeah, I need to get grit out of this instead of talked about hopped up Jedi Jesus shit. You need to tune in to Poncho Jesus. That's where I'm really discussed and hopefully get my testimony on how to actually take the electric out of the air, build a charge, and pretty much do Jedi Jesus stuff. And luckily, for all us ceramicists, the pretty much ceramic ideals, concepts, and with a little bit of electrical, but mainly if you got ceramic background, you're in. You're pretty much in. I can pretty much tell you tune into that and do a little bit of meditation, not even meditating. You're literally trying to harvest electric out of the air and grab it just like I grab clay out of the ground. And you can grab it out of the air or you can grab it clay out of the ground, but they both do the same thing. They both do the same thing. And we're gonna try to pull rabbits out of hats. We're gonna try to make Big Macs in paper sacks. We're gonna try to make body parts. We're gonna try to pretty much, we may even try to raise dead. We have fallen comrades. Oh, you're holy, you're holier than thou, buddy. Coughing up blood, holier than thou. Hey now, you better. All right, let's go. That's about how healthcare should be. That's what healthcare should look like. And if it looks like anything else, we're probably fucking it up. So, kind of into mystic stuff side of things, I guess you could say. But I want to try to be really sciencey about it. Otherwise, it don't get communicated to the masses, it seems. Yeah, now I'm getting back off the fucking ceramics. I'll be damn. It's Sunday. I'm on all kind of Jedi Jesus preachy mode. Oh, about got this licked though. This clay ball licked. Yeah, Scooby Snacks. I get it pinched. I'm gonna take a break. I'll make another video. It's gonna be long. Showing me how I'm doing my jazz here. See? You just little pinches at a time. I am a small batch pottery production mofo. I got other artwork kicking, and please support all my art. Yeah, multi-talented, I guess, or multi-hack artist. I ain't that talented, maybe, or maybe I am. I don't want to know. At this point, I'm over it. Maybe. That was my 20s. I'm 41 now. I may be seasoned and getting salty. I've been hanging around a lot of old people, old men, and listening to their old crazy ass stories and not living my own, maybe. So, yeah. I do a lot of things. A lot of people don't know. It's all groovy. Let's see what else we got going on. So yeah, firing techniques out at Porter's. Wood firing, rock cooling. Oh, look at here. Clean my hand in here a bit. Dun, 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 dun. I'll do it in the next video. I'll do it on the next video. Haha. Keep you waiting, maybe. Ooh, that was a little peachy spot. Crumbly crumbs. So once you get her pretty well all the way polished as you want to get her, still pulling out a little shite. And hopefully all the little grits and clay there, I'm gonna take and make into a little bitty like what are they called? Monolith, a little mini monolith of all grit, because I like the texture of it, a real all gritty texture. And so all the little rocks together, I'm wondering how it'll make a nice monolith or not, if it'll blow the fuck up. But it may actually fire out and be really, really pretty with all of the rocks and stuff. So we're going to see how we're going to make a monolith of all these little bitty grits. It might be pretty. Waste not, want not. And that goes with your clay. And your time, mainly. Mainly your time. You harvest this clay. Make some shit out of it. There's no waste. I don't want a wasteful society. I don't want wasteful people. I grew up in a junkyard, and I see where cars go when people are unable to know what they've got and how to operate it, really, or how to fix it. So, learning Jedi Jesus stuff is pretty much learn how to fix things. Man, they got a lot of grit in this. But I got this clay body. Made it out of basement. First basement dug the other day. Got some of that clay out of the bottom of the bag. Out of Porter's and made a slip kind of thing. And then I had a piece dug the other day when I was walking just up the hill. So it's from here. The other one's over by off the Castor River. Over by Lowndes, was it maybe? Yeah, Lowndes. And then the other one was what other clay did I use? Oh, from Dudley, south of Dudley, out there in the farmer's field, where I dug all that clay. I went outside and I hit that stash. So it's Starter County in my hands as good as it gets. Fun fact about Starter County clay. Purina, the tidy cat kitty litter, the yellow and the black cat kitty litter, that's my clay. So everybody who's got any ceramicists out there who's got a cat, and you get tidy cat litter, you check where it's from. If made in America, it made in my backyard using my clay. But that's bentonite, and all they do is dry the shit out of that. They perfume it, I guess. But if you can get probably unperfumed, you can probably re-wet it, re-wet it, and actually have clay. So that's probably your cheapest source of clay is cat litter, unscented cat litter. I would buy that possibly if you can want to do ceramics as a starter. I don't know how it would work. It's probably really short, which means it cracks like that. It cracks really easy when you stretch it. So there's various ways of making elasticity. We may go into that on future videos. It gets kind of disgusting, but that's logic. Sometimes gets disgusting, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Fudge. Yeah, I'm still getting a little gritty grit. But a decent amount of clay right there. We're going to make us a nice bowl. Willy billy 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 billy. Alright.